Hey everybody, this is Royal with Paternity University. I'm here with Adonis. He was actually the very first Paternity University student. And this is a new series, and I'm starting on the YouTube where we talk about students and their success, the Student Success Series in Paternity University, and how they set up their DNA testing companies and how they're doing. So Adonis, first off, man, go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from, who you are, all that good stuff.
Uh, how y'all doing, everybody? My name is Adonis. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Currently, I am a reentry security supervisor at a prison in Plaquemines Parish, uh, in Louisiana. What we do is we educate offenders in correctional facilities to get trades and college degrees and GEDs and stuff. Outside of that, I own a DNA agency downtown here in New Orleans called BigEasyDNA. And so far, everything's been going great, man.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So you work a 9 to 5, and I'll never, I still work a 9 to 5. So that's perfectly fine. And that shows how you can still run this business while working a 9 to 5. But how did you, what were you doing as a side business prior to the DNA testing company? And how did you learn about DNA testing, and what made you want to get into it?
Well, before DNA agency, I had a vending machine business. And I've been doing pretty good with the vending machines. I had about 10 vending machines total doing a route. And I was always on Twitter, a lot. And before I got into the DNA business, I noticed Roy on Twitter and would follow up with a lot of his tweets and stuff like that. And I pretty much, reached out to him after kind of going through the steps and everything like that, and was able to kind of get the groundwork started after taking the course. And even now, at the level I am now, I still refer back to the course, and I've learned so much in that time frame.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, take me through the steps of how you started your business. I mean, were you looking at logo first, name? I mean, locate. What did how did you actually start? Or like you said, you followed the blueprint exactly step by step in the course. Like, how was that?
I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about the logo, and the logo was like the last line. I was like, man, one of the things I heard Roy say was he wanted to sell his business within the next couple of years. So when I thought of the name, I was like, man, we need to something with the city, something that has to ring, but not to think, not to time on thinking about the name, because you don't want to take too much time in that area, because you lose a lot of time in that time span too. So by me being from New Orleans, Big Easy is a big catch here, right? Big city, and many people use it for different things here. And I was like, man, it's more of a culture thing. So I said, okay, yeah, I can go with Big Easy DNA, And when I realized a lot of other places weren't doing that, they were having more medical type names in their titles. I was like, man, Big Easy DNA is definitely going to stick out. It's definitely a huge name, right? And I know if I stuck with it and years go by, I can definitely sell it with that kind of name. Next, what I went through after that, I got my Google My Business set up, which was my business address, right? I had to go through the process. I had to wait for it to get verified by Google. And then once I got verified by Google, got my business bank account and everything set up, I was pretty much in business, man. I made sure I went and got me a laptop and a phone. One of the things I liked that Roy did was he didn't really start off spending a whole lot of money in the beginning. He kind of saved funds to kind of be able to use the profits to get more later on, right? So I did start out with a flip phone.
Oh, you did too? I did. Yeah. Okay. Hey, that's how you get started, man. That's how you get started.
Got maybe like $100 something laptop to begin with, just to have the laptop and a little internet service. Just use a hotspot for the Wi-Fi internet. And then in the beginning, it was kind of slow in the beginning because of me working my job. My hours between 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock. But then I realized a lot of other places that were making money were open in the morning time. So one of the things I decided to do while looking through, I decided to hire a VA, right?
What's the VA for those that may not know? What is that?
Well, VA is a virtual assistant, and I decided to hire one because it was much needed in my business if I wanted to grow at a faster rate now instead of later. And even though, new in the business, not really making a lot of money, you're not really making a lot of money in the beginning. It's like I knew that it was needed because if I'm going to work my 9 to 5
Mm-hmm.
and have this business, somebody's going to need to answer the phones, right? And ever since I've found the right person to answer the phone, man, it's just been, my phone's been ringing off the hook.
So that's a question. Is answering the phone really important, or can people kind of just set appointments on your website and then you just see them whenever, or like are they really trying to call like that?
It's very, very important to answer the phone, man. I always get the term of law of large numbers, right? We get 50 calls a day. Most people want to call to find out price. They want to compare, stuff like that. If you find a way to close most of those, out of 50, you might get like a good 10, right? You can go back and follow up with the other 40 later on, right? But it's definitely a huge part of the business is answering the phone. As long as you answer the phone, man, you're going to be in business because it's a needs-based business. People need paternity testing, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. And people like, what I'm saying? Yeah. For example, people want to call and talk to somebody because their situation is different. Every individual situation is different, but the test that you do can apply to those situations, whatever that situation is. But everybody's specific situation is different. Yes. And they want to talk to somebody and like get clarification on what their situation is and how you can help them. And a lot of times they call those other businesses and it's an automated answering machine. They got to press all these doggone buttons to get to somebody, or they don't answer the phone. And you, Adonis, setting yourself apart simply by answering the phone. But you had to hire a virtual assistant because you saw like, oh man, I'm missing a bunch of calls. I remember you said that in the Slack channel. I'm missing a bunch of calls and I got to fix it. And you had to fix it. So,
Yeah, and it worked out perfectly because like now, even when we meet with people now, we kind of ask them how they hear about us, like what was their experience over the phone, those kind of things, because now it kind of keeps everything in the front. Like, okay, if they had a communication problem, we want to fix the communication problem. Like, any problems they have on phone, we want to fix that. So no time I ask them, like, well, how did you hear about us? Or what did you think? And compared to other places, and then, like some people will tell us like, well, man, this place, they didn't have anybody answer the phone, or we called this place 10 times and they didn't answer the phone, and you guys picked the phone right up. And also they'll say, man, your reviews, we looked at your reviews, on Google, and that's kind of what sold us on booking. So I'm so glad I had to Google my business page, because in reference to other businesses I had in the past, I had no idea about Google my business, profile before. And I would always do marketing and stuff by word of mouth, or like bandit signs, business cards, going to different networking events. So it's like doing the Google My Business page and people seeing my reviews and people dealing with the seeing how we treat them at the different appointments and stuff like that. That really stands out a lot. And then the office space we got is literally like right across from the Superdome.
Oh my gosh.
So like when people come to the office, they look out the window, they can see the Superdome right across from the office. So like, and then in my mind, it's like that kind of stands out a lot because it's like the epitome of BigEasyDNA.
BigEasyDNA, yeah. Your New Orleans, personified. Even your colors, your DNA testing, your logo colors are like Mardi Gras style colors. It's purple and gold, right?
And that's the kind of vibe I wanted to give off, with more like a Mardi Gras carnival type feel because of it being a DNA thing. And I got a lot of compliments on it. A lot of people ask, how I got into it, and what had me interested in it, and I always tell people about why. My why. My brother passed away a few months ago. I found out he had some kids. And, I had to be involved in the paternity situations to determine, them to get benefits. My uncle also had situations where he paid child support for over 18 years and then find out on the 19th birthday that he wasn't his, and did not get any of that money back, So that kind of also played a part in me wanting to kind of take this serious and wanting to do real good business, do right by people, and just give people the answer they deserve,
Wow. Yeah. Your why is critical. And everybody's why is going to be a little bit different. Some people want financial freedom. Some people, like you said, you went through that situation. My mom, the reason why she started her paternity testing business was because her brother went through a paternity situation. You know what I'm saying? And it was what it was. So tell me about your first DNA test, your very first one that you did. How did you feel? Like, walk us through the whole process. What were the emotions you were going through?
And I was so nervous. I'm not I just didn't want to mess up, man. I was like, okay, cool. I practiced it so many times. I went over the course multiple times. I was like, I did the chain of custody procedure so many different times, just to practice because I did not want to mess up. And then I didn't realize that I was actually doing a whole lot better than I was judging myself, And when the time came, I realized, okay, it's just attention to detail. Okay, me being military background, that's one thing they teach you is attention to detail. So it's like knowing those small steps and just following everything step by step allowed me to kind of get through that first appointment, and actually got a good review out of that and good feedback from the people in that appointment. But I was real nervous my first time. Roy, you told me that probably was going to happen. But man, I was glad. It felt a whole lot better once I got through that first appointment.
Yeah, man. I remember you saying that in the Slack channel. You're like, I was nervous, but it's like you said, it's attention to detail. It's a little tedious at first, but essentially, if you follow how I do in the course, I have it highlighted basically. Highlight on the form what you need to fill out so you don't forget. And you even when I do a test nowadays, even when my wife is with me when I do a test, when we do a test together, she does the form. I look over it and double, triple check, quadruple check, back and forth. She looks at it, makes sure. Heck, I did a test last week where little stuff like the date that you as the DNA agency owner, as the collector, the date has to match what the client signs on their portion of the chain of custody. It literally cannot be a day off. So if you say I took the collection on January 22nd, 2022, and then if the client signs and says, well, I'm signing saying that he collected for me on January 23rd, 2022, you send that stuff into the lab, they'll be like, hold on now, what's this? This doesn't match up. You may have to do a recollection, or you need to verify that date. And doing a recollection, not fun, man. It is like, it makes you look bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was afraid of at first. And then I was like, I don't want to have to recollect. I want to make sure I do everything right. And lately I've been in a process like my sister, man, my little cousin. Well, she really my little cousin, but I call her my sister. She's been out of high school about 2 years, and she's going to school for medical assistant. So right now, I'm getting her to go to school to learn how to be a phlebotomist.
Yes.
And I want to bring her.
What is that, Adonis? Can you tell us what a phlebotomist is?
Well, phlebotomists are the medical professionals that take blood for us. Pretty much when people come in for prenatals, for blood draw from their arm and swab from the father's mouth. So me adding her as a phlebotomist to the team is very critical because not only is she's a vital part to the team, but it also shows the family, my family, that, hey, we can turn this to a family business.
Yeah.
Everybody can bring something to the table, and we can definitely grow from that.
Yeah, that's you're 100% correct. And the prenatal test, by the way, is when the mother is pregnant and she wants to know who the father is. So we do something called non-invasive prenatal testing, where it's like you said, Adonis, a blood draw from the mom's arm and a swab from the alleged father's mouth. And so that same thing, man. Like it's so crazy how the similarities are. I made a significant amount of money last month, and I texted my mom, who's done it before, and she was like, keep it in the family. That's what she said to me. Keep it in the family. Like how you said, you train it up your sister to become, well, she's going to go to school to be a phlebotomist because you have to do that to draw blood for your company, but keeping it all in the family is major. So tell me, you started your business, you said in late September, October timeframe, or you started the process timeframe, right?
Started the business in late September.
Okay.
And I was able to get like the business bank account,
Yeah.
Google my business page. I didn't really get completely verified for Google my business until maybe like October.
That takes time. Yeah.
So in that process, I still was trying to get my name out there and trying to get, my front of people. So what I did was I would go to like, networking events and stuff like that. And like my first event I went to was a charity event for like Christmas time, where they gave out like toys and all stuff like that. And look, the first event was for Thanksgiving, right? We did a turkey giveaway. And by us doing the turkey giveaway, it put our logo on the front of the flyer and all that as a donor, And I thought that was good exposure for us for the company, and also for the charity event for the Christmas gifts. I thought that was also another great exposure and kind of get into conversation with different business owners and other entrepreneurs, just so they can know that, hey, this is what I do, this is where I'm located, this is who I am, and exchange phone numbers too, and in that process, I was able to meet with a few lawyers and like a judge or two. And I realized, I want to get in the judicial system too. So I know that, those relationships are very, very vital to, our success. So
they are. And it's like I said, it's a combination of the Google, the advertising, the digital advertising, physical advertising, as well as networking and relationships. That which I'm going to go into next is, I think, which led to your first 4-figure month in December, right? In December, you made how much did you make in sales in December?
December, I ended December about $4,500 in December.
$4,500.
And that was with very, very minimal ads. I still was learning the Google Ads page. Didn't really put any money into that first. I may put like maybe $50 or something like that, trying to learn the system. And then it's like as the end of December came on, I started learning Google ads a lot more and getting more engaged with it. So I increased my spend a little bit more, and I realized, man, the more I spend on ads, the more people see it, the more business that calls in, So I asked myself, I was being cheap at first, not gonna lie, I was being cheap. So I had to ask myself, man, like, how much does Coca-Cola spend on marketing, a year, And then when I looked at the number, I realized that, man, the key to me staying in business and business growing is just marketing. Right. So I've made a goal to make at least a ad spend goal of at least $1,000 to $3,000 a month. That's my goal. I'm not there yet, but that's a big goal of mine. And currently I increased my ad spend to about $500. And right now in January, we are on track to close January at $7,000 for the month.
$7,000 for the month. Basically almost doubling. You might actually double it, because you did 4,500, and that's crazy because in the Slack channel, the first week of January, I think, like the 9th, 10th, you were like, hey, we did $4,800. I was like, yo, you did what you did in December in the first week of January. Like, that is amazing. How did that make you feel, man?
Man, it's a pride. It actually let me know that the ads work, and also kind of made me like, wow, like, man, that's crazy, because I still was in shock, sometimes when you're in your first year of business, things take off a lot slower than you expect, because like I've had 2 businesses before this one, and they didn't really take off until maybe like the second year, and like, so to see that kind of growth, in that early, it's like, okay, man, I should have been doing ads, and stuff like that, and it made me feel great though. Like, okay, yeah, I can definitely do this. I can definitely, accomplish more. I just have to focus solely on marketing. So my goal for 2022, by me being at my job, I wanted to focus on, paying the team, make sure everybody that's involved with us gets paid, and also kind of focus on marketing, because we're still new to the area. Even though we're doing really good, we're still new to the area. a lot of other businesses, they really focus on more than just DNA testing. They do like background checks and all these other things. So I figure if we just stick to our lane with DNA testing in that area, like, you know, people are gonna start coming straight to us for DNA, right? The more reviews come in, the longer we're on Google, you know, the more positive feedback we get, you know, the more the brand grows, you know, and that's pretty much the goal, you know.
Yeah, you're going to be, you know, I predict, and I've already said it too. I claimed it for you, and I'm sure you've definitely claimed it for yourself, but you're going to be the go-to company for DNA testing in New Orleans, you know, and maybe even at some point in time, probably Louisiana or Southern Louisiana, and then Louisiana as a whole. Like, and it, you know, it's only bigger from there, but you know, honestly, aside from the DNA testing fees that you pay from the lab, marketing should be your biggest expense, you know, to those who are looking to get into the DNA testing world or grow their business. Marketing is my second biggest expense, next to the fees that I pay to the labs to run my test. To, like you said, to expand. So if you did 4,800 in the first week of January, and you're on track to do so, I think you're on track. You might do 10. I don't know. You got 8 more days. You never know what can happen, man. You never know you can get a flood. All of a sudden, these lawyers might call you. You might just get a flood of people who just want to knock out a DNA test before February 1st, and you might close out on 10. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you don't know, because like I think what happened was the first week of January, I was at a basketball game. It was on a Friday, and I was before I shut it down for the day, I was like, okay, we're at about 2,800 or something like that. And then I think it was like 20 something, 25, 27, something like that for the week. So I'm like, okay, man, that's good, you know. And then like right before the game ended, man, the assistant texted me. She was like, man, we just closed like 47 for the month already. And I'm looking like, man, what, in the first week of January?
Yeah.
I really thought, you know, like, you know, we was done. I'm like, all right, cool. This week is over with, moving on to the next week.
Yeah.
You know, man, and she's been working real hard, man. I always give her kudos, you know, because, you know, she's a single mom, you know. Well, she's not single mom, she's married, but she's also, you know, she's in medical school and stuff like that. She's going to, I appreciate everything she does, man. She works real hard and she helps out a lot, you know. And me adding her to the team, you know, I pretty much had to ask her, like, what's her why? Like, you know, like, what wakes her up in the morning, what kind of person she is, because, you know, in this business, you don't just want to work with anybody, you know.
Yeah, no, facts.
Especially who's answering the phones for you. Is like, if you're not going to be answering the phone, you got somebody answering the phone for you. You want that person to kind of mirror like what you stand for and what you know, represent, because at the end of your business, you know, people call in, you know, that's their first impression. That's like their first line of what they're dealing with. So that was my main thing in bringing her on, you know.
Facts. I think you're gonna do extremely well, man. Well, actually, no, I know you will do extremely well, because you're treating this is a business. This is something that you are growing, and it's also fun. I mean, like, I love looking at I'm like, oh man, I did this. Like I said on previous webinars and everything, and you know this too. The way you brand yourself and the way there's no limits to how to do it. Like you said, you do community events, charity events, you do digital advertising. You're probably going to get into physical advertising of billboards at some. I mean, a BigEasyDNA in New Orleans, you know, at some point in time by the Superdome would be amazing. You know what I'm saying? There's no limits to how you can brand and market yourself. And I think that you're going to try a bunch of things. You're going to do extremely well. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to how you know, continue to build your business and even close out the year. So you got any other tips for anybody who wants to get into the DNA testing business?
Man, all I say is, man, y'all make sure y'all get the course, man. Don't take it lightly, you know. Take it seriously, take notes. Just get this thing time, man. Don't try to rush everything just to make any money, you know. Try to, you know, learn the ins and outs, and then understand your target audience, you know, who you're trying to reach, and you know, what's your goals and stuff like that. Like, have your goals mapped out and stuff like that, because it's all gonna align, you know. And if you get in the Slack group, you know, everybody in the Slack group is always holding each other accountable, man. It's no one for all type deal. You know, we all on the same team, same page. Everybody keeping everybody accountable. Some people even have businesses within the same state, you know, and still everybody on each other's toes because it's so much business out here for everybody, you know. And people, like I said, man, people are gonna always make babies. People are gonna always need paternity test situations are always gonna be there. So like one thing I always say is like, you know, why not me? You know, so that's why we should ask ourselves is like, why not you, right? So yeah,
that's
most
real.
definitely.
That's real.
You know,
Adonis, man, thank you. You know, first person to come on to the Student Success series. You know, prayerfully, we'll have a lot more Student Success episodes to come out. Where can the people find you, man? If you want them to find you, but where can the people find you to follow you or to get a DNA test?
Well, you can look me up on TikTok at BigEasyDNA. You can also follow me on Instagram at BigEasyDNA, and our website is www.BigEasyDNA.info. And yeah, man, I'm always open to, you know, talking with people, meeting people, answering questions. I'm normally on TikTok a lot because you know I like entertaining, educating, you know, stuff like that. And it's fun. You know, it's fun, you kind of getting engaging with different people. So yeah, so if y'all looking for me, I'll probably be on TikTok most of the time.
Yeah, you be heavy on the TikTok, man. Shout out to all your videos. I be looking at videos. I'm like, damn, how come I didn't have that idea?
Yeah.
you got it on TikTok, man, for sure.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, Adonis, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming on, man, and very, very much success to you in the very near future and beyond. So thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right.